Well, today's Saturday, it's the 11th of June, and yes, I'm still home alone. Anita's enjoying herself in England with our youngest daughter Serena and the grandchildren there. Just to repeat that she had a great trip over, no problems at either airport, so going through the Palma airport was very early. She went through very early, probably about 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock. And no problems going through the security and the passport control, all very simple. Getting to the other end, again, Bristol Airport, no problems at all. Now I have seen, continuing in the news, is big queues at some of the airports, and one of the pictures I saw was actually Bristol Airport, so it'll be interesting to see what the return journey's like. She's due back on Monday evening, and that's going to be quite different from travelling first thing on a morning on Wednesday morning. So I'll give you an update on that when it happens, but hopefully she'll be back on Monday evening. She's got classes on Tuesday, so she needs to be back for that. Continuing on the transport theme, if those of you who are coming to the island and you get to the airport and usually catch a taxi, taxis are in short supply, not just at the airport but elsewhere on the island. The government have said that there are going to be more taxi licences available, and so there should be more taxis, but at the moment we're seeing big queues for taxis all over the place. April, and it seems a long time ago, was really busy. Over 1,300,000 tourists came to Mallorca in April, and that's really quite unprecedented. So the numbers are going up, and the bookings for the summer are looking really good. June is taking off, really busy. There's 140,000 students coming from the mainland. They come on these study trips or end of year trips from school and colleges, and they'll be staying at places like Arenal. They'll be going to Magaluf or sometimes up into Alcudia in the north of the island. So yes, the island is filling up rapidly with all sorts of different people. I'm getting a few celebrities here as well. You may have heard me say that a friend of ours had spotted Jurgen Klopp, the Liverpool manager, in a restaurant in Palmanova. Well, shortly after that, noticed a report in the newspaper to say that he'd actually bought a house here and in Santa Ponsa, and it's going to be like a little summer place for him to come to, very close to where the ATP tennis tournament is going to be taking place this week, so next week. And he's a keen fan of that, together with Brendan Rodgers from Leicester City. So we've seen quite a few football managers as well as the footballers here on the island. Another UK celebrity who's going to be here later this week is John Cleese, Fawlty Towers star. John Cleese is coming to give a one-man show at the auditorium, and it's called, I'm not sure I like the title actually, Last Time to See Me Before I Die. He seems to be putting a nail in his own coffin there, but always a great entertainer, very funny man, bit of dry humour there if you like that, and there may still be tickets, I'm not sure about that. You need to have a look on the auditorium's website. We're heading for another heat wave. Just seen the announcement by the Spanish equivalent of the Meteorological Office, and they've said that temperatures are going to be soaring over the next few days, particularly on the mainland, and so we just get the sort of edge of it, but on the mainland back up into 40 degrees and hot temperatures at night time. I don't think it's going to be that hot here, but there still could be some high temperatures, so don't forget the sun cream. And when everybody tells me they're coming out in the next few days, I do say don't forget to pack your sun cream. That's really important. The temperature and the UV rays are going to be significant, well, from now on right through to the end of the summer. There's been some tragedies on the island over the last few days as well. I've seen several reports now of people drowning, young people, old people. Do be careful in the water, and keep your eye on your children. We don't want to see any more of that. People have asked me about what prices are like here, have they gone up, and lots of reports in the newspapers about inflation everywhere, so it's not just in the UK, but here we're suffering from inflation. Prices are going up tremendously. The big talking point, of course, is petrol. Petrol prices have really shot up, I think everywhere, and here you're paying well over €2 now for a litre. But the government has given us a subsidy, a 20% subsidy, so you don't actually pay €2, you'll pay somewhat less than that because the government gives you 20% off. So nice subsidy, and that's going to continue. And been a little bit of a controversy that everyone gets this subsidy, whether you're a citizen of Spain or whether you're a tourist. So if you're hiring a car, you're getting the subsidy from the Spanish government when you fill up with petrol. Good for that. Keeping on the transport side, I did report a few weeks ago that a camper van site had been closed down, and there is really no official place for people with camper vans to set up camp and sleep overnight. So people have done it in streets, outside people's houses, and lay-bys or anywhere, and so we still have camper vans, but there's been no legal place for them to stop overnight. And there was a protest, so a number of camper vans drove slowly through Palma just to raise some awareness, and they seem to have had some effect. See, so that's been discussed now in the Parliament here, and they've agreed that they're going to be talking to the local communities, to the local mayors, and suggest that various areas do set up some what would amount to be official campsites, and that would be a first for Mallorca. Certainly since we've been here, there's been virtually nowhere you can camp legally. It's not true that there are none, there are one or two, but very, very few. And well, it's a different sort of tourism for the island, using these camper vans, and whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. One person was saying it's got to be a good thing because if you're in a camper van, you're going to be using a lot less water, and you perhaps don't realise just how much water tourists actually use when they come to the island. You know, they shower in the morning, shower in the afternoon, shower in the evening. All of that water has to come from somewhere, and it's a great natural resource that we in Mallorca don't have a great deal of. People using camper vans have a tendency to use a lot less water. So again, on the driving side of things, not for tourists but for residents, and that concerns driving licenses. If you decide to come and live in Spain and want to drive a car, you need to have a driving license, and it needs to be a Spanish driving license. You can't drive here with your UK driving license. Tourists are not affected, so if you're a tourist, you're coming from the UK, you're on holiday, you hire a car, your UK license is fine. But if you're coming to live here, then you have to have a Spanish driving license. And for us who are residents, and we've been residents for a long time, you simply took your British license into the traffic department, and they would exchange it for a Spanish license. You have to have a medical test, and you pay a fee, but relatively simple, nothing much, nothing difficult at all. But with Brexit, that all ended, and now the grace period has finished. So there are a lot of people here who were not able to do that, or for whatever reason didn't do that, and still have their British license, and now they cannot drive legally in Spain. And I can imagine some people in outer parts of the island, or certainly on the mainland, are going to find life very difficult if they can't get to the local shops because they're just simply too far away. So the ambassador to Spain, Hugh Elliott, has been in negotiations with the Spanish government, and hopefully they're going to have another grace period. Nothing's been confirmed yet, but the aim of Hugh Elliott is for another grace period so that people can exchange their licenses. My feeling though is in the future that if anyone comes to live here, you're going to have to do the Spanish driving license, and that's a theory and a practical test. The theory test you can do in English, but the practical test, well, you sit in a car with an instructor who's going to tell you where to drive, and he's going to tell you in Spanish. I think you might be able to have somebody else in the car with you at the time though. talking again about roads. If you're planning a trip to the Formentor lighthouse, which is very popular on the tourist agenda, Formentor lighthouse, spectacular lighthouse right at the tip of the north of the island. Then you can't drive there anymore during the daytime. The road's now closed to cars, so if you want to go there, you're going to have to catch a bus. So the problem's been there's just been too many cars, become too congested, and so during the summer months the road is now being closed to traffic. So do bear that in mind, because there will be some hefty fines if you're found on that road. Not sure how it affects cyclists. I'm guessing you can still get on your bike and cycle there. If you're interested in watching the Netflix, Adam Sandler's new film's just been released, The Hustle, and much of that was actually filmed here in Mallorca. Lots of films filmed here in Mallorca. It's a great spot for filming. The light's fantastic. There's lots of different scenery, and you'll find Mallorca in lots and lots and lots of films. I went out yesterday. I was going to make a video where I was actually out near to Calagamba, and it was incredibly windy. I was just walking along the promenade there, and the wind was blowing this salty water into my face, so I thought better of it. So sorry there was no video of me having a walk yesterday, but I did enjoy sitting watching the windsurfers sail by, or virtually fly by, because they're going really, really fast. Just to repeat that we went to Real Mallorca to say farewell to Salva Sevilla and Manolo Reina, who've been great footballers for the club over the last 5 years or so, and saw us move from what would be the 3rd division into the 2nd division and up into La Liga, the Premier League of Spain. Sadly, they're leaving, and Salva is going to Alaves, and he will be playing there under the managership of Luis García Plaza, who was a previous manager of Real Mallorca. And it looks very much as though Manolo Reina is going to return to his hometown in Malaga, and hopefully will be playing for the team. And I think he'll be a great goalkeeper for them for the next season. So it'll be farewell to them, and well, it's farewell from me. So thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.